So one of the questions we get a lot is, should I care more about voltage harmonics or current harmonics? As with everything, it depends, right? So basically, we look at where do the harmonics come from. And in this case, when we talk about harmonics on our power system, the harmonics really come from the loads. So in this case, when we talk about the chicken and the egg phenomena here, it really comes from the loads. And so as we look at where does current come from, the distortion come from, it's going to come from our LED lights, it's going to come from our variable frequency drives. And as we pull that current through the impedance of the power system, we distort the voltage based on that. So the amount of voltage distortion really depends on how much impedance I have. Am I a normal utility source? Am I a generator source? Am I a big load on a small system? Am I a small load on a big system? And the amount of distorted current that goes through that impedance really increases the harmonic distortion. So going back to the question, do I care more about voltage distortion or current distortion? And again, the reason it depends is current distortion causes voltage distortion, but in fact, they both have symptoms that we have to deal with. So as we look at what does voltage distortion cause, voltage distortion causes misoperation. If I have notching in my voltage waveform, my transfer switch might not work. I may have other issues related to control on my power system. If I have current distortion, I may have issues with overheating. My transformers might die quickly. Instead of less than 20 or 30 years, I might have to replace it after a few years. And then if we look at the impedance of the system, if I have a weak source, meaning I have a, let's say, 300 kVA transformer and I have 200 kVA worth of variable frequency drives, I might have a problem because I have a weaker source. Or if I switch to generator, even more so. So as we look at harmonics, what do I care more about, voltage or current distortion? The answer is really both, because if I screw up my voltage, I'm going to have problems. If I screw up my current, I'm going to have problems. But both of those problems are marginal depending on the amount of current distortion and the amount of voltage distortion, and it's all based on the impedance. So solutions exist for all of these issues, but you really have to understand where the problem's coming from to understand if I care more about voltage or current harmonics.